Hey, all you fragrance lovers out there. Today I have a video for you focusing on the note of iris. It's one of my favorite notes, and I wear it all year round for sure, but like now in the spring, I think it's just perfect. And I have in my collection quite a few, both full bottles and a bunch of decants. And some of them, they kind of go in different directions, but I have several that are really that like close to each other where one could question if I really need them all or not. And I'll share that with you as well as I go along. I just wanted to mention before I get started that I am now kind of looking for reviewers like myself that are about that size and who buy all their own stuff, that don't accept free bottles, because I don't believe it's possible to express your honest opinion if you're receiving free bottles from the perfume houses, let alone money. And I mean, if you're like really good friends with the perfumer, or if you are, married to someone who owns a perfume house, all those things are going to lead you in a positive direction. And I want to hear all of it. I want to hear if the sprayers suck. I want to hear if the packaging is ugly, if there's a disturbing note, if it has a synthetic vibe, if it has shitty longevity, and so forth. I want to hear it all. I want to hear from like a best friend would share with you before you actually go out and spend your money, because these fragrances, they're not cheap. Okay, so one iris fragrance that kind of really got me started, I'll start out with that one. It's called Iris Draguet, and it's from the house of Maison Lancôme. This is their more exclusive line. I think this might be, is it discontinued or not? I'm not sure actually. But you can still get it. I mean, I see it around. This has iris is definitely the most prominent note here, but it also has like added like a nuttiness, like I think it's almond and maybe a little sugar, so it's pretty sweet. I would probably call this like a semi-gourmand. You don't quite feel like you want to eat it, but it has something kind of pastry-like added, so that iris is not like dry and cold and papery. So that's this I think would be a great start if you're kind of on the fence and you think maybe the iris seems a little bit old ladyish to you, or that it's just a little bit, you might not like it. But this one, I think like everybody would like it. Problem is now that I have many more interesting things in my collection, and this has kind of become a dust collector a little bit. So I'm kind of thinking of giving it up. I mean, I really like it. It's a beautiful fragrance, but I never wear it. So I'm honest with you. Sometimes I think what I'm going to do is like give decants to friends that are not like frag heads, because it's such an easy wear. And I think like almost anybody would like it, and they really appreciate, getting a little something when I go to their house. So I might use it for that. And I'll just tell you right now that I've been on this fragrance journey for about 3 years. And I think my taste has really evolved, like from kind of the Iris Draguet type of fragrance. And I got one more at about a year and a half ago that I absolutely loved at the time, which is also now a dust collector. And it does feature the note of iris, and it's called Honoré Delights, and it's from Ex Nihilo, and it's a beautiful fragrance. I mean, I was just blown away by this slightly vanillic iris fragrance that kind of reminds me a little bit about Woman in Gold, which I also was like so excited about. It is beautiful, but I find that it's a little bit too perfect, which might sound a little strange to you. And I don't wear it that often. I'll wear it once in a while, and I think it's beautiful, but for some reason I don't wear it. I guess I don't find it interesting like I do some of the others, or like satisfying. This, on the other hand, is one of my all-time favorites for this last year. I've worn this so much. Typically I wear it in the morning. It wears off quite quickly. The longevity is not great. And I find that kind of a little bit, for a lot of iris fragrances, the longevity is not that good. So you need to kind of reapply or change your fragrance. And I do that a lot. So I don't care so much, as long as they're not like, 30-minute fragrances, because that is too short. This is number 19 Poudre from Chanel. And this is a little bit similar to both Trench, which I also have from YSL Exclusifs, except it doesn't have, this is a little kind of cloudier, it's more powdery, And it has also the note of galbanum, which gives it a really interesting little bitter twist, which this doesn't have. This is more about citrus. It has a note of fig, and it's really refreshing, but it's a little more transparent, if that makes sense. I think this is beautiful as well. This one does a little bit remind me of the Iris Draguet, minus the sugary notes. It's a morning freshy. Longevity, I mean, I think it's pretty good, actually. It's better than this one. But this one, if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely, this one would be the keeper. And when I run out of this, I'm going to be going big bottle of it because I love it so much. It's great, great fragrance. And then I also have Dior Amour from Christian Dior's private line. This one might be a fragrance too many in my collection. This has like, it's kind of a pink fragrance. It has both like, I think they list only like jasmine, iris, and powdery notes. But I think there's some, I think there might be like some violet and lavender in here, maybe some other like purple flowers. Like it goes a little tiny bit inky maybe. It's just maybe a little ladylike. I don't think, since I have all these other great irises, I don't think I need it. This morning I did a comparison with Iris de Syracuse. I have a full bottle, but I forgot it upstairs. I bought a full bottle, but with this much left. And I've kind of found that it was maybe an Iris fragrance too many because I have so many others and it didn't really stand out. But this morning when I wore it, I actually preferred it over this one. But they are quite similar. And it is quite similar to like a lot of others. Infusioned Iris, I find a staple in my collection. It's just a blast of freshness. I have a big bottle. I got it secondhand. I'm very, very happy with this purchase. It's more about the citrus. I think it has a speck of vetiver. I don't love vetiver, but in this one I think it works. It has neroli, it has mandarin orange. It's also not it doesn't have great longevity either, but I can top up other fragrances with this. I just always love it. And it's just, this I feel will be in my collection like forever. I really, really like this one. And then I have an Iris that I haven't been able to find a full bottle. So I get these decants from this company, Swedish company that sells, they have a subscription service. It's called Sniff. This one is called Poudre Désir from Elixir. It's a French house, and it's an extrait de parfum. It's a very, like a high concentration. It does have slightly better longevity than other irises, and this is just beautiful. It doesn't only have iris, it has other white florals as well, like gardenia, which is also a note that I really enjoy in fragrances. And I have several of these. I think I have two anyway. And I think that if I find a full bottle, I will buy it. But it's not available in Swedish shops. I would have to go to like a website and get it, which I typically don't do that often because I always feel like it's, there's postage and there's this and that, and I think I would rather like contribute to the Swedish suppliers of perfume. Let's see what else I've got. This is quite a recent purchase. It's number 9. It's 1957 from Chanel, and this I really like. This works like any occasion. It's just beautiful. I love it. I'm not sure that I could like blindfolded distinguish all of these that I've spoken about now, like in the dry down. This one definitely has that aldehydic Chanel opening though. And I think that I read that many people find it similar to this one. And I thought when I bought it, if it's similar, it doesn't really matter since I love this so much. I can sort of own them both and I know that I'll use them. Anyway, I highly recommend both of them. Love them a lot. I think 1957 has great longevity compared to the other one though. So that it's in itself could justify maybe a purchase of a bottle. Then I have an Iris that takes off in a completely different direction. This is a bold, big, large kind of fragrance that has a really summery vibe. And it's called Suavissima. It has a big kind of dose of orange flower, amber, I think. It's kind of sugary, but in a different way, in a heavier way than the Iris Draguet. It doesn't have that kind of, you'd like to eat it kind of quality. It's more like a I find it super feminine, super vanillic. And it really, the longevity of this one is unbelievable. So if you're into iris, but you want more depth, you want you want a warm iris fragrance, then I think Suavissima from Parfumum Roma would be a great bet. Okay, so I do want to mention one that I'm kind of struggling with a lot. I don't have full bottle, thank God. It's called Iris Silver Mist, and it's from the house of Serge Lutens. A friend gave this to me because she was kind of ready with it, and it is, to me, super earthy and rooty and damp and oak mossy and kind of, I don't know if it's carrot seed, but it's a little, to my nose, dated, and it smells a lot like, kind of like the base notes of the perfumes that came out in the 90s. And it's really a cold wear. It's like mist, you know, coming off of some hills, and it's not a sunshine kind of fragrance at all. It's more like I really don't like this, but I'm thinking since my taste is kind of evolving, and I find that a lot of people that like this have been on their perfume journey for quite a while, maybe I should just hold on to this and give it another sniff in about a year and see what happens. But not a safe first iris purchase, I'll put it that way. Yeah, it's really a challenge, this damp kind of forest floor kind of dirt facet to it. I find it very difficult to like. Let's see what else I've got here. Oh yeah, this one, I don't like to talk so much about discontinued fragrances on my channel, but every now and then I'll do it, and I'll just want to tell you this because it's an organic Swedish brand that I think has run out of business, but you can still get a hold of. This one I bought secondhand, so obviously their bottle's still out there, kind of in rotation. It's called Liberi, and the house is Odore Mundi, and I just wanted to mention it because a lot of people find it similar to Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Parfum that are more marketed towards men, and I think that feature a note of leather combined with iris, which is a combination that I actually like. I've tried both Iris Torréfiée from Guerlain. I couldn't try that enough because I just got like super, just a few drops of it to try, and it wasn't really enough. But I recently tried, I just went through like a half a decant. I think I bought like 3 milliliters from somebody, Iris Prima from Penhaligon's, which I really like. The only thing I don't like about that one is the longevity, which really sucks, but I love the fragrance. And this one has a little bit that same quality. And I don't know if there's leather in here. I can't quite find the nose because it's not listed on Fragrantica because the house is too small. But I know that the place that sold it, they say it features vanilla, citrus, and iris. And then I think among the accords, it also has like floral, cacao, which I don't really get. Let's see what it has. But I kind of get that same vibe as Iris Prima. There's something, now I can get that cacao, actually. And I've also found that I tried a few iris fragrances from a friend that were like really expensive. One is from the Swiss house, Valmont, I guess you pronounce it. And it was called like Blue Cobalto or something like that. Blue, B-L-U, spelled like that. And that one had like, and also a Cartier fragrance that also had the combination iris and cacao, which weirdly enough, work together. I would never think that, but they really do. Kind of like a dry kind of cocoa. It's not like chocolatey. But this is a great fragrance. I was really happy to get my hands on this. I got this for kind of a low price as well. Okay, so what other iris fragrances have I been through? Oh, this one is kind of, I only have a decant, but I think they still sell it. It's from Hilda Soliani. It's called Io. This one smells like candy. And I think the only notes are like, I don't know if it's fruity notes or sugary notes with iris or something like that, but it's so beautiful. It's candy-like yet elegant. And I think her prices are fairly, affordable. And I would love to go to like her shop and I think she's Italian, and just kind of go wild in there and try everything she has. And I think she's sometimes called the Queen of Gourmands. But I think it's nice that this is kind of like an iris gourmand, just like this one, but it takes off in a different direction. This is not like candy. It's a little bit more like a cake, if anything sweet, but not like, this is more like actually candies. And also this Suavissima is also a little bit kind of like semi-gourmand, not really gourmand, but it has that depth and that sweetness to it that gourmands often have. I love that combination. Yeah, that's a good fragrance. What else have I got? Orris Tattoo from Par Le Mois de Parfum is not an iris fragrance to my nose. I'm not going full bottle on this. It's a sandalwood fragrance. So if you're into sandalwood, check it out. If you're into iris and are looking for good iris, keep scrolling. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I can kind of not get myself to wear this more than I've only tried it like once, and I don't feel like trying it so much more, so I'll probably let that go. I've also tried Splendiris from Decida, which I loved when I first smelled it. But now there's so many other good irises. God, I can't even see the hole here. I'm just going to squirt it and see what happens. I got a little bit on my finger. This is a really purpley fragrance. It smells like purple flowers. Maybe not as much as Love Chloe, if you guys are familiar with that discontinued fragrance that I had a bottle of for a while and let it go. It was just too metallic. It kind of, when it goes too purple and too violet-y, it gets a little kind of like steel, metallic leaning into my nose. So I usually pass on those because this, I mean, it's beautiful. It has a little bit of sweetness, but it also has that kind of iron metallic vibe. I don't think I would buy a full bottle of this. And these are expensive, these fragrances, Decida, but I'll definitely finish the sample. Yeah, those were my, and then I think I mentioned Iris de Syracuse from Boucheron. I'm going to keep that. It's maybe a little similar to the ones I've been through today, but I really, really enjoy that too. And I'm still kind of always looking for a good iris. I find it kind of strange when a perfume house does not have a single perfume featuring the note of iris. I noticed that about Goldfield and Banks. I was through their whole discovery set. What was it? Was it a year ago or something? And like none of them have the note of iris. What are they waiting for? That's what I want to know. But maybe it's not like a flower that grows in the Australian landscape. I don't know enough about iris to tell you, but I would think that most houses have a good, have at least an iris, right? So I think that the ones that don't should start working. Well, those were my opinions about iris. What are your favorites? I'd love to hear it. Which ones have I missed? Yeah, please leave me a comment.